Good morning, everyone. This is your lecturer Hajirah Farooq, and today I'm going to be summarizing the lectures for BOM Cohort 10 Semester 1 for week 6 and week 7 in this video. So the module code, as usual, for BOM Introduction to Business Operations Management is BMM 3003. And this is my name, Hajirah Farooq, and this is my email address in case you need me for any kind of queries. So today we are going to be learning about a few of the learning outcomes. So these are the learning outcomes stated here in this slide for this module. And what we are going to cover today, the exact learning outcome would be learning outcome 3, which is to explain the role and scope of business management. So by the end of the session, we will be able to understand what is team working and team building, what are the principles of leadership, and how to be a good leader. So we started this lecture of week 6 by a brainstorming activity by asking students some questions such as what is a team, and does a team need a leader, and if yes, then why, and what are the characteristics of a good leader. The students were supposed to think about these, brainstorm about these, discuss in groups, and then with their partners, and then come up with the answers. Then we discussed what is a team. A team is a group of individuals who work together to achieve a common goal or objective. Teams can be made up of people from different departments, functions, or even organizations. Teams can be temporary or permanent, and they can be formed for a specific project or an ongoing work. Team members should be transparent, supportive, kind, and sincere in their contact with each other and willing to learn from each other. And team members help each other in the time of crisis. Being appreciated, respected, and encouraged by other team members would enable teams to work better, of course. We discussed the difference between a group and a team. So teams are interdependent, working together to emphasize each other's strengths and complete a common goal. Groups, on the other hand, they utilize individual strengths to get work done and member focus on their own goals. So these are some of the differences between groups and teams. Then we discussed what is a leader. We had another brainstorming session. And then we discussed that does a team need a leader or not? And then we had another little group like class activity where the students were to brainstorm about some examples of team working. Then we discussed some characteristics of a good leader. They included things like effective communication, responsibility and accountability, long-term thinking, self-motivation, confidence and people skills, emotional intelligence, open-mindedness and ethics, optimism, humility and character, and passion. And then we watched a video about team building. And after that, we had another little class discussion about what are the stages of team building and which, and this discussion was regarding the previous video that we saw. So what are the stages of team building we discussed, and then we discussed which one of the stages of team building do the students think is the most important one. And that was the end of week 6 lecture. And then we move forward to week 7 lecture. Here we covered the learning outcome 4, which is contextualization of knowledge within a real business. So in order to contextualize or utilize the knowledge of whatever module you have studied into real business, we usually do case studies. So by the end of the session, the students were able to understand the definition of a case study, the importance of using a case study, and the different examples of case study. So what is a case study? We discussed that a case study is a research method that involves in-depth analysis and investigation of a specific subject, such as an individual, group, event, or a phenomenon. And it aims to provide a comprehensive understanding of the subject by examining it within its real-life context. In a case study, researchers gather qualitative and or quantitative data through various methods such as interviews, observations, surveys, or document analysis. In a case study, nearly every aspect of the subject's life and history is analyzed to find patterns and reasons of behavior. The collected information is then analyzed to derive insights and draw conclusions. Case studies are widely used in fields such as psychology, sociology, business education, and medicine to explore complex issues and generate rich and detailed knowledge. Then we discussed that what is the purpose of a case study. The purpose of a case study is to learn as much as possible about an individual or group so that the information can be generalized to many others. Then we discussed the importance of using case study. The case studies provide a rich and detailed understanding of the real world situations. We studied that they offer an opportunity to apply theoretical knowledge to practical scenarios, which bridges the gap between the theory and practice. And then case studies also encourage critical thinking, problem solving, and decision making skills by analyzing and evaluating the complex situations. We discussed that what is the case study used for. Case studies are widely used in fields such as psychology, sociology, business education, and medicine, as discussed earlier. And unfortunately, case studies tend to be highly subjective. That is one problem, and it is sometimes difficult to generalize results to a larger population. Case studies are widely used in, okay, we have already discussed this earlier. We had an activity where we saw another video about the market segmentation at Qantas Airlines. And then after watching that video, we had a small class activity where we discussed and responded to the following questions, which were: how does the segmentation help the Qantas Airlines, and what are the different segments that Qantas considers? So then we have some examples that we discussed of case studies. So there are business case studies, medical case studies, social science case studies, and environmental case studies, depending on which field of education you're in. Then we also have education case studies, legal case studies, and psychological case studies. So there were some tips that we discussed for conducting a case study, including clearly define the research in question or objective of the case study, selecting an appropriate case that aligns with the research goals, gathering data from various sources such as interviews, observations, and documents, analyzing and interpreting the data to identify patterns and themes and insights, presenting findings in a coherent and engaging manner using visuals, narratives, and supporting evidence, and a few more of the tips for conducting a good case study. Then we discussed the case study format that is typically made of 8 parts, which include an executive summary, a background, a case evaluation, purpose, solutions, implementation, conclusions, and references. And this was also the structure for the case study assignment. So this was all about the week 6 and week 7 for Introduction to Business Operations and Management for cohort 10 semester 1. I hope you understood a little bit of something from this video. I hope this was a good summary for you. And if you need any more information, then you can of course log on to your Moodle account and find out the lecture slides and the pre and post activities.